hasten the soccer mom. Alec, everything they do from this point forward is going to work against them in an accelerating fashion.
I agree with you that it seems like everything the establishment does now blows up in their face. And when I talk to military or cops or school teachers or auto mechanics or farmers, that's why I say so many people on the controlled left want to have a fight, a classic communist revolution, like the cops are the enemy. No, the cops, I found, are more awake than anybody. They understand the position they've been put in. They understand what's happening. So how do we, A, do you agree with the statement I just made? And then B, how do we avert killing the canary in the coal mine, as you said, when this whole thing kicks off?
Well, look, I've put forward, and frankly, I would love to run for president for the Reform, the Green, and the Libertarian Party. And that's only until Angus King or John Huntsman sits up and pays attention, because I'd rather one of them ran for president with a coalition team. But the key to victory here is a series of electoral reform workshops around the country. The other half of this initiative, which is in my little booklet at Amazon, is the open source activist toolkit, which addresses Micah Sifry's very sound analysis, which is we have to learn how to share information and talk to each other. But I believe we can have an electoral reform summit in June, at which all of the prior political candidates, including Ralph Nader and Jesse Venturi and Cynthia McKinney and Carol Mosley Braun and so many others, Barbara Marks Hubbard, they all come forward and they all issue a statement of demand. Now, I really want to emphasize that these are not my ideas. When I ran for president in 2012 after getting Occupy briefed up on electoral reform, I was inundated with stakeholders coming to me. And so what I have done is I have aggregated the best ideas from across this country on electoral reform, and I have put these into a little booklet and a Kindle booklet, which will also be a Create Space next week, which basically is a starting point for national dialogue. There's a great cartoon that shows how much power we have. There is a plank out over a cliff, and the 1% are at the end of that plank standing on thin air, and we, the people, are standing on the other end of the plank on free ground. All we have to do is get off the damn plank.
That's right. In fact, we could probably pull that up online. Just type the 1% plank graphic, and we've had it on Infowars.com before, but what you have is the 1/10 of 1% that actually run it all, trying to sick the 80% on the other 19 or so, when most of the 19%, you know, that top 20%, and in that top 1%, got their money fair and square, employ a bunch of people, and are good folks. It's that tiny, tiny, tiny elite that are the real issue and that are actually setting policy globally. Let's go to who's up first for the guest. John in Florida, you're on the air.
Hi, I'm just wondering what your guys' take is on Snowden. Is he the real deal, or what do you think?
I actually think that Snowden is an approved CIA operation and that the State Department took his visa away so that he would be forced to stay in Russia in exile. I don't believe that Snowden would ever in a million years have gone from security guard at NSA to CIA overseas technical operative.
So he's another Lee Harvey Oswald?
No, he's far more than Oswald, because he's been used. I think NSA went one blackmail op too far. And the powers that be started to realize that NSA was doing insider trading to beef up its offshore accounts. Basically,
that's what a lot of heavy hitters have told me, is it was a CIA-NSA fight, basically.
Yes. Well, no, there's Defense Department. Multiple wars going on within the U.S. government.
Yeah.
And one of them is between the FBI and CIA, and other is between NSA and CIA, and other is between NSA and everybody else. Basically, NSA has finally scared the crap out of the 1%.
That's it. And so they're trying to cut it down to size.
Yes.
Got too big for the britches. And does Snowden know that? Because here's the deal. I've had major whistleblowers on from the NSA, like William Binney and so many others. No attention. You know, AT&T whistleblowers, real whistleblowers, almost no coverage. But then when Snowden comes out, I mean, the mainstream media got all behind it. And I tell you, that's what's suspicious.
It is suspicious, and someone else, I was discussing this with someone else, and the whole way in which the Snowden operation handled Greenwald, who I think has been scammed. They basically isolated Greenwald. They put him into a little box. And so then they started feeding him stuff. Now, let me say, I think that what's the outcome of the Snowden operation has been uniformly positive. I have no problem.
So you're saying it was a good move by the elite to start realizing this panopticon can burn their britches as well?
Yes, but one of the things we really need, and actually Obama could make much, much more of his last 2 years in office if he would get in touch with the truth and with ethics. Because what we have now between Jim Clapper and Mike Vickers at the Department of Defense and John Brannon with his drones still assassinating people and rendition and torture and kids that don't know anything, it's a disgrace. We need our government to get ethical and smart again.
I hear you, caller.
My breath.
Caller, that was an amazing point. Sorry to interrupt. We'll be right back with our guests to talk to Gerald and others who have questions. That's why I love taking calls for guests, because I should have asked that question. We'll be right back. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv. You can check out our guest websites at Pi Beta IOTA.net.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you can consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
Man thinks 'cause he rules at us, he can do with it.
Welcome back, my friends. I'm Alex Jones, your host. Mr. Steele's agreed to stay with us 20 minutes to the next hour to take more of your calls. I want to get him on some time to talk about some of his CIA operations in the Middle East and around the world that he can talk about. I know most of it's still secret, and I want to get his take on where the Middle East is going briefly in the next hour. Please don't forget this broadcast is supported by viewers like you, not government funding, not foundation funding. When you buy the high-quality Made-in-America apparel, when you buy the books, the films, we're adding new ones every few days. I mean, it's a big online shopping center. Shop with the good guys. InfoWarsStore.com. Subsections like InfoWarsLife.com have some of the best nutraceuticals out there at the best prices. Super Male Vitality sold out. Super Female Vitality is about to sell out. DNA Force is amazing. We've got great vitamin B12, concentrated methylcobalamin, Secret 12. We've got the classic Survival Shield X2. Get a free bottle when you get 2 bottles of that, of Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Booster. 3 days left on that sale, or until it sells out. Looks like it may sell out by Sunday, so that special will work out perfectly. Lung Cleanse. The Oxy powder is probably the most powerful product. Just higher level oxygen. There's a video there that breaks it down. It releases in the intestines and just gently flushes you out. Amazing. Rob Dew lost 12 pounds in 1 week on it, okay? I mean, that's saying something. That's the type of stuff it does. So InfoWarsLife.com. Briefly, Congress stands up to FCC power grab with bill. Bill, important because it reasserts power of Congress over unelected bureaucracy. Now, again, I've read the bill. It isn't perfect, but it is Congress is supposed to do this. You better believe the FCC taking over the Internet is not going to protect it. But you also better believe that the Republican side wants it to be taken over by corporations. So we'll talk about the battle for the Internet and what Google and others are doing with Steele, who's an expert on it, some of the next hour. Right now, let's go to a phone call. Gerald in California, you're on the air with our guest. Go ahead.
Alex, always a pleasure. Lung Cleanse is definitely one of the go-tos for me.
Thank you.
Mr. Steele, this has definitely been one of the most informative guest appearances, at least for me. You've given me a lot of tabs to keep open and go and research later. Now, just referring to the Snowden incident, you know, and picking up from where you guys left off, after watching Citizen 4, I believe in this, and you know, you guys can interject. I believe that the way Snowden went about releasing the information is what gained publicity for the whole idea. You know, with him keeping himself out of the picture and just putting the information out to the public and the news media. I think that created a successful reaction from the public, and you know, to get everybody worked up. What do you guys think?
Well, I think you're right. It was managed very, very capably. The real question, and again, one of the tenets, and I used to be very, very good at covert operations. I actually wrote the script for the El Salvador story in the 1980s for the entire world. I was allowed to bypass headquarters and send the message out to 17 stations worldwide. The key to a successful information operation is to use the truth to hide the truth. And I think that's part of what's happened here. I have no problem with the actual outcome of the Snowden operation so far, but I do have a problem with the fact that we still have an intelligence community that's costing $100 billion a year that produces less than 4% of what a major commander needs, according to General Tony Zinni. So one of the things I would like to do is create an open source agency, which OMB has approved twice at $3 billion. And then I would like to cut the secret world back to $20 billion at most.
Because won't an open system keep everybody? Won't, I mean, it's common sense. An open system is what will keep people honest, not a closed system that will breed corruption.
Right.
I mean, it's very simple. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist to know that. So what do? Roll back the 1947 National Security Act?
Well, I think not only the National Security Act, but Title 10 needs to be redone because the military services are out of control and totally dishonest. The Army now has a new monograph out on how lying is endemic to the officer corps, and that goes all the way to the Chief of Staff of the Army.
All right, Robert, stay there. We got to come right back in 70 seconds with Robert David Steele. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of super oxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy Powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad-tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy Powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy Powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.